Today we will learn how to convert between standard and scientific notation. To start, standard notation is the normal way we write numbers. Sometimes those numbers are really big, like 4 million. And sometimes those numbers are really small, like 4 millionths. In both cases, we have to write many zeros. We can convert these numbers to scientific notation like this, to write them without showing all the zeros. Bigger numbers will have a positive exponent, and numbers less than 1 will have a negative exponent. Let's take a closer look at how this works. Here we have 30,000. 30,000 is the same as 3 times 10,000. Do you know how to write 10,000 as a power of 10? Since there are 4 zeros, that's 10 to the 4th power. So, 30,000 equals 3 times 10 to the 4th power. This is scientific notation. The first number must be at least 1 and less than 10. And we multiply that number by a power of 10. The exponent tells us how many place values we need to move to get back to our original number. Let's try converting more numbers between standard and scientific notation. Our first question asks us to convert 4.5 times 10 to the 6th power to standard notation. We can expand the 10 to the 6th power to get 1 million. Now we can multiply 4.5 by 1 million to get 4,500,000. Now let me show you another way to get the same answer. Our first step is to start with the number before the times 10, 4.5. Next, we look at the exponent. Because the exponent is positive 6, we will move the decimal point 6 places to the right. We will then fill in the empty spaces with 0. We got the same answer of 4,500,000. Our second question asks us to convert 2.9 times 10 to the negative 4th power to standard notation. Like before, let's start with the number before the times 10. 2.9. Now we look at the exponent. Notice the exponent is negative 4. That means we will move our decimal point 4 places to the left instead of to the right. Then we will fill in the empty spaces with zeros. Now we have the number 0.00029. This number is 2,900 thousandths, which is a very small number. For our third example, we are asked to convert 60 million from standard notation into scientific notation. Our first step is to place a decimal point after our first non-zero number. Our first and only non-zero number is 6. So we will place a decimal point after that 6. This becomes the number before the times 10 in our scientific notation. Next, from that decimal point that we just placed, we will count the number of spaces to the end of our number. It takes 7 hops to get from that decimal point to the end of our number. Those 7 hops represent our factors of 10, which indicates our exponent should be the number 7. So, the number 60 million becomes 6 times 10 to the 7th power in scientific notation. In this last example, we need to convert 0.00471 from standard notation to scientific notation. This number is less than 1. Which means our exponent will be negative. As before, we start by pulling our number down and placing a decimal point after our first non-zero number. That means we will be placing a decimal point after the 4. So, 4.71 becomes the number in front of our times 10 in our final answer. Next, from the decimal point we just placed, we will count backwards to the first decimal point. It takes 3 hops to get back to the original decimal point, so our exponent is negative 3. Now we have the answer, 4.71 times 10 to the negative 3rd power. Great work converting between scientific notation and standard notation.